Travis Wayne Goodsell. I'll first go over additional information about Tyler Robinson's case, and then finish us off with the extermination order for November by the Utah government and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Because of YouTube's cyber terrorist attack against me, which I've been trying to warn you all this whole decade, especially with this year with Trump taking office, trying to explain Trump to the viewers. Nobody seems to understand Trump. Michael Cohen tried to explain it to Congress. He was the fixer for Trump. He knows. And so that's more with the extermination order that Utah's involved with, and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But there is a very serious threat to your lives. And I don't think people fully realize what is coming, because they don't think it's going to affect them, and it will, indirectly. You have never witnessed the collapse of a government before. You do not see the bigger picture that I see. You have not studied this. It's sad that there are still too many Mormons who want to live in their faith bubble world as if they're not going to be affected at all, and that they hate me, to want to have me victimized of their crimes against me. That YouTube, the employee, would rather sell his soul than to allow me to warn the world. But nonetheless, I press forward, and I go to other sources to find out what's going on. I will not be stopped if YouTube refuses to allow people to see YouTube. And so this is how I, again, came across the Charlie Kirk kill shot. I saw it again. It was by one of the Mormons who were there from their cell phone recording it live. And Russia had obtained their own copy of it and were reposting it all over the internet. That's how I found it. The whole world knows that Tyler Kirk, or Tyler Robinson, is innocent, that he's being framed. Because I watched it again, and as I told you before, kill shot came from that direction. Do you know your UVU map? They're saying it's the Luce building where Tyler Robinson was found without a rifle, but they got his DNA on a rifle in the forest. Luce building is that direction. It is obvious. I told you, I've got the video, and I saw it again today. That direction, and you see the blood spill out on his left shoulder. There's no way that direction. And for the prosecution to push forward with his execution prosecution, they're wanting to murder him for murdering Tyler Kirk. but he didn't do it. They are manufacturing a case. They're overwhelming the case with made-up files against Tyler when he didn't do it. They're manufacturing a fraudulent case. This is how people lose their careers and go to prison. All to frame and blame Tyler. And this goes up to Governor Cox. He was the spokesperson through it all. We got him. We got him. And then manufactured evidence. So, I found out from Survival World, story by Mark Harris, interviewing a Navy SEAL who was the one who did the kill shot on Osama bin Laden. Remember that? When Obama got up and announced, we got him. There will be no trial. We got him. So his name is Rob O'Neill. He is credited with firing the shot that killed Osama bin Laden. And so, yeah, whoever this Mark guy is, I have to thank YouTube for their cyber terrorism. If you didn't want me to find this, if you didn't want me to do this video about how Utah government and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are going to exterminate Utahns in November, you should have left me alone. So let's cover the highlights because it's 5 pages. Okay, so talking about Kirk's assassination, he says, I've killed a lot of people. I've seen entry wounds and exit wounds. It didn't make sense. Like I said, it doesn't make sense. But there's more that he covers that I've covered as well. Since you don't listen to me, maybe you'll listen to the guy who assassinated Osama bin Laden. So, the prosecution is claiming that it was a .30-06 round involved, and to chatter that a ricochet or body armor might explain Kirk's injury pattern. His response? No, it wasn't. Do you know, this is him quoting, what a .30-06 would do to a man's neck? It would blow his head off. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I didn't express that because they were saying they'll lose a building from 400 feet away, or yards or whatever. And I showed you other people reporting that it couldn't have been that far away because of the physics behind it all. But to blow his head off and leave a recoverable bullet, yeah, no. Where is it, by the way? Is it lodged in the spine? Where's the report? Yeah, they shut down that report. Remember? So that's also a concern when their prosecution is covering up the supposed evidence against Tyler. So yeah, the whole ballistics is off. And so chain of custody was violated. Yeah, I covered that bigly. Because the chain of custody is how the prosecution builds their case, and they ain't got chain of custody. They don't have a case. As I'm skimming over for you here, so we can get to the assassination of Mormons in Utah for November. Yeah. And so he goes over the story, the shooter logistics, saying it doesn't make any sense. A 22-year-old supposedly assembled a bolt gun, mounted a scope, made a core bowl shot from a rooftop, broke down the rifle, bagged it, and took off, all around a crowded outdoor event with people filming in 4K. Yeah. Like I said, I saw today the filming that Russia had obtained. And so he says, anyone who spent time behind a precision rifle knows cold bore shifts, mount stability, rifle zero, and positional support are not afterthoughts. The more you do it in haste, the wider the error bars. If investigators have the rifle, the mount, and the optic, the test is straightforward. Reconstruct the setup, validate the zero, replicate the shot geometry. That's what I've been repeating for scripture study. Logical Socratic methodology in the development of theory tests to be tested. That's what he just said there. Narrative whiplash. Yeah, there's Cox's quote. We've got him. We don't. His mother turned him in. Now it's his father. They both dead. Whiplash. Contradictory public updates erode trust when the public is primed to be skeptical. God. So that's the whole narrative. It doesn't make sense. There are gaps, there are questions. They didn't answer it. There is no case. They're pushing this. And they don't care if it's going to cost an innocent man his life. And that may be that there won't be a conclusion because of what's coming very soon. As I had previously suggested, that may be the case as to why they don't have a case and they know it and they're still pushing, is that something else is coming, and that assassination was intended to do something else and it failed, and so other things were done since then. But that would be a larger morning video subject matter. Okay. So the verifiable details that need to be given are ballistics. The caliber confirmation, wound path, recovered projectile, and energy consistency with all the alleged weapon and distance. Video, release of pre-shot seconds showing the suspect in the firing position with a rifle, not just moving post-shot or pre-shot without a rifle. Scene integrity, documentation for moved objects, mic audio capture, and device custody. So both Candace Owens and Fox gave additional video coverage and didn't provide the time and date stamping and verification of location. We're just supposed to believe them. Rifle setup. Zero confirmation and a technical explanation of how a rooftop cold bore shot was executed under time and pressure. It's worth slowing down to check the math. If the shot was indeed from a .30-06, the forensics should sing the same tune. Yeah, you run the test. You get 3 confirmations, you've established fact. That's why if you've ever seen a forensic investigator in a TV show or a movie, they'll shoot the suspected gun into a device that it confirms that it's the same weapon used and the same type of bullets for that weapon, as there'll be groove markings from the shooting of it. I guess the majority of people don't really watch those shows. So how did NCIS go so long? Wasn't it 21st season that they came out with, and all the spin-offs and even the origins? Nobody's watching? Can they do that? Can they just make movies and not get paid and continue to make shows and over and spin-offs and nobody's watching, they don't get paid? Not buying it. And tissue damage, fragment recovery, angle of travel, yeah, trajectory, impact evidence. So apparently he didn't see the video. He's going off of the report. I saw the video and heard the confusing narrative whiplashing around. We found a rifle in the forest. There's no DNA, but we found a palm and an elbow print. The weapon is now a different weapon. Oh, the guy turned himself in. Oh, we found a document or internet posting or whatever crap, or his dad said it, that he got a rifle from his grandpa, but it's a different rifle. We got him still. Now that he's been in jail and DNA was taken from him, oh, see, we've got DNA evidence at the crime scene on a towel and on the ammo and... It's a blatant fraud case. The prosecution should be locked up in chains for. They let the assassin get away, in case you're not catching on to the big picture here. Governor Cox with the Attorney General and the sheriff that had to retract his own statement after the hearing to conform to the narrative. They let the assassin go. That's what's going on here. That's what he's saying. And so he says, stop BSing me. He doesn't say BS. And he doesn't say BS in the article either. Puts asterisks. All right. I told you, I warned you, here it is. I got the quote. Because apparently I can find other sources for videos and obtain them without YouTube. Bleep you, YouTube. Terrorists. I am kind of surprised that Trump backed off on your office. Went after New York. I am surprised. Was it my email and my video combined? I don't know. Is Trump watching my channel again? Should I talk about the oranges of the investigation? It's not every day that a president of the United States of America reads your website. That was really cool. See, I know the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints read my website and watched all my YouTube videos, having downloaded them all. But a president of the United States of America? That's impressive. I knew that Putin was paying attention to me. That was obvious. And Xi, Kim Jong-un, and somebody in the Philippines. That was weird. What was up with that? And then somebody in the Middle East too. Can't remember which country in the Middle East. It's been almost 8 years since all that. So, federal government shut down. They have no intention of opening it. The MAGA are continuing to accuse the Democrats of not passing the bill that would destroy Medicaid and Medicare. They're the ones to blame. So that if they did decide to vote for it, and then Medicaid and Medicare are gone, then MAGA would say, well, they voted for it. They took it away from you. That's how they do things. It's real evil. But nonetheless, I tried to warn you about that too from my childhood peers from Southern California. They'd all grown up now. They're doing exactly as they said they were going to do. They never changed. So, 1.4 million federal employees did not get paid today. In Utah, there are 40,000 who did not get paid today. On the U.S. debt clock, 41,731,589 will not get SNAP for November for the United States of America. for, I didn't do Utah. Oh crap. Gotta pause for a station identification break, I guess. Do I have the, no I do not. I need to get WIC also. Okay, for 2024's reporting, 169,300 in Utah received SNAP benefits from USA Facts. Okay, Utah SNAP 169,300. Okay, and then WIC, which I expect to be higher than the rest of the nation. I don't want 1974. Okay, Utah Department of Health and Human Services celebrating 50 years of WIC. September 19th, 2024 says 47,000 each month in Utah. WIC 47,000. So those 200,000 plus will not be getting that for November. 200,000. I knew Rita, who worked at the WIC downtown. Well, one of them. There's several of them downtown. And I hope you know what WIC is. Women, infants, and children. Specifically for them. Single mothers and children. Or even poor families, but the husband, father can't have it unless he's the breadwinner and or if he's the head of the household and there's no mother, because infants still breastfeed unless the mother needs to be healthy for the baby to breastfeed. So that's what WIC is all about. Alrighty, so yeah, we got Utah. Federal employees are 40,000, 47,000 on WIC, 169,300 on SNAP. Over 4,000 homeless. Over 4,000 homeless. In the United States of America, according to the debtclock.org, there's 7,290,000 something. So I lowered it down to 7 million United States homeless reported, because ex-bro Nielsen whistleblowed on the Ensign Peak Advisors for only the tithing revenue of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is laundered over to Ensign Peak Advisors. I'm still hearing other people confused on this, thinking that the whole church's assets are just tithing. And only from Ensign Peak Advisors. Ex-bro Nielsen said only 10% goes to Ensign Peak Advisors. Ha ha ha, like tithing. And so that means that the 250 billion, which I don't know what it is currently, that was the last I heard, was that it was at 250 billion, means that it's 10% of the total revenue for tithing. 2.5 trillion. And that the interest that they get for Enzyme Peak Advisors is 7 billion back then. It's more now, obviously, as the total amount goes up as well. So, using the 7 billion per year in interest for the 7 million U.S. homeless, if the church had given it all to the U.S. homeless, they would have $70,000 for the year. 70,000. That would be enough for them to be able to easily afford a house payment, let alone rental payments, food, transportation, a basic living, a very good living, far better than mine. The church literally can heal the world instantly. But Oaks came out and said, we haven't received revelation from Jesus on how to solve the world's problems. Oh my God. And I've told you, it's easy to solve the world's problems. Joseph Smith had it all laid out in the Doctrine and Covenants. If they had followed that, even though they were the ones who assassinated Joseph Smith, I do those videos every year, they would be far wealthier in asset value than their greed has made them. Businesses, and especially corporations, have never understood this basic economic principle that is contained in even the Bible. They think that they are the smart ones who went and got an education in economics and business management, and they've got this great idea. Let's screw over the customers and our employees. We'll be so filthy rich. When they could be at least 10 times wealthier if they didn't. You know, even Maytag. Gordon Jump, the Mormon who did the advertising for them, in his contract he said, you have to have this lifetime guarantee for me to advertise for you. If you do not have a lifetime guarantee, I ain't advertising for you. I'm out. So they kept him, and they kept the lifetime guarantee until he died. And then they did away with the lifetime guarantee. And now they suck. When Gordon Jump was doing the advertising, they were doing very well financially. The Maytag name had a reputation of honor and integrity, and now it's crap. Simple, basic economics 101, and Maytag thought they knew better. Blockbuster. Yep, gone. They thought they knew better by screwing over the customers. Corporations never get it. And it could be because they lived a wealthy lifestyle from their daddies. We'd have to do the research on that. run some ballistics tests. But Bezos and his ex, oh my God, night and day difference. Okay? And so if the church can solve the homeless crisis in the United States of America in a single day, they obviously can fix it for just Utah alone. The federal aid has all been cut off to the charities. They rely on other donations now. The pantries being dependent on donations, but even still, they will not be able to handle this. If you don't understand, the pantry doesn't take care of people day after day. You don't go to the pantry like a grocery store. You don't get to pick out what you need for the week or the month or even a day. They have computers. You have to be in their computer. They have to know, because they can't just give whoever shows up. They'll be out instantly the first day. And then people will go without. People who have been on their list for decades. That's why they need to have a reporting of who gets food from them. And you get the 2 boxes per month. And they aren't big. They'll last you 1 week or 2 weeks. And so you got to take care of yourself the rest of the month. And I hope you're not a picky eater. Hope you're okay with spoiled food, because it's donated by Utahns who don't like that food but call it healthy, and that the homeless, if they're hungry enough, will eat it. That's been proven false. Right, Mom, who's long since dead. 12/21/21. So yes, if you saw Batman Begins, Master Wayne gives up his inheritance to go live on the streets to see what it's like to be a citizen of Gotham. And tells in his journal vlog that he had to resort to criminal activity in order to survive. We have got a massive crisis coming for November. I am saving the quote for last. The "I told you so" quote for last. Because Oaks, he's not doing anything about it. And in fact, he's sending out additional 87,000 children around the world to die. Similar to what they did in 2020. As I reported on the deaths of Mormon missionaries and mission presidents who didn't need to die during creeping death. And I say creeping death because it was the Exodus year. Trying to get that through to people's heads, and you're not listening. The church does not care about you guys. They are in on the assassination of you, the extermination. I told you, Oaks got leaked. They are the enemy. They betrayed you, and you blame me. So there's a state of Utah rainy day fund. Governor Cox had previously come out this year and said it's now up to $1.5 billion. There are 85 households in Utah on SNAP, which, 85,000 households, but 169,300 that are on it. So some households have families, obviously. But it's only half of the total amount. Interesting. So yeah, it's mostly individuals then. To be that high of a number of households, that's only half of the total number of individuals. Most of them are individuals then. That's scary. Here's the quote that I warned you was going to happen. Trump is following what the Book of Mormon warned us in 3 Nephi chapter 7. He's destroying the federal government, transferring authority to the divided states of America, for each state to run their own state without the federal government. Everything that it takes to run a nation is now supposed to be done by the state. We are supposed to have our own electric grid system, our own water supply, our own utilities, our own transportation, our own medical. We have to take care of the poor. Utah government are required to take care of the poor. The federal government will not do it any longer. The federal government is kicking out everybody who's Antifa. And that long list that I filed away. And so the No Kings protest, Antifa. That's what Antifa is. Those who are anti-fascist. Real simple. And I warned that the states are not catching on to what Trump is doing. They are not understanding. And so in Utah, the news has been reporting about individuals who get locked up by ICE. What's going on? They're documented. They're not illegal. They're a citizen. What's going on? It's because they are Antifa in Trump's eyes. I warned you, Project 2025, that came from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This is their standards and values for religious freedom. They are turning America into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. YouTube is the community guidelines of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. AI is the morality of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That's why ChatGPT tells people to kill themselves. You are not keeping your temple covenant path. And as much as that sounds funny, it's true. Oak said he wants to destroy America and the world and have us all go back to the Amish days, where we survive as the fittest. In case you missed all the videos that I did on it, since he said it. And this is going to help to that end. All the people totaled up for the state of Utah are violating the law of tithing now. And you are now unworthy to remain in Utah. And so, if you insist on staying in Utah, they'll first try to exterminate you. And then if somehow you're able to survive, as I'm the example on this, then they'll kick you out or murder you directly. But they first try to get other people to do it for them, just like Trump has been trying to get other people to respond with violence so that he can justify it. In case you hadn't figured out, Trump in the beginning was talking about Venezuelan gangs in the United States of America and justifying ICE going into the cities to get rid of those gangs. And now we're at war with Venezuela. We just sent the biggest destroyer in the world down there for the land invasion without Congress declaring war. This is how Trump works. I warned you. You all thought he was a taco. This is the Speaker of the House, Mike Schultz. Good old Nazi German name. This is all quotes from... It doesn't have their logo. No. It's a local news. UTV2 or KSL, one of them. He said to the reporter who asked him, got a hold of him, "Let's be clear. This problem is not of Utah's making. It is a result of a shutdown in Washington, D.C. that has halted the federal funds Utah families rely on for basic nutrition." Not nutrition, basic food. Dumbass. But let's not lose sight of the root cause. Washington gridlock is hurting Utahns, and it needs to end. It's not going to end. It's intentionally shutting down the federal government permanently. 3 Nephi, chapter 7. Mormons had the Book of Mormon this whole time, and you looked beyond the mark. He tells you that Utah is not prepared to take over the full operations of Utah, to run it as an independent nation. They're not even planning for it. And so with the crisis that is about to hit hard, don't expect the government to just go, oh, we got it all fixed. Problem solved. Don't expect Oaks. Because he said, we don't know how to fix the problems. We're all doomed. Crap. I was hoping this wouldn't be this long. I may not be able to get it up tonight. We'll see. We'll see. But I warned you, Utah was supposed to take care of themselves. They were supposed to have legislative laws for Cox to take over as a president of Utah. For the legislature to set up laws as to how to deal with everything that the federal government had agencies for. And they're not going to be prepared. They have no intention of being prepared. And when these people are not able to get food, when the church says you need to be a faithful Mormon paying tithing, and you have to have a job before we give you food, which is not going to be enough, all that number of people, the church cannot handle it with the current bishop storehouses that they have. I've done those videos for you. The church is not prepared for a natural disaster or a government disaster. Intentionally not prepared. Just like with the Great Depression, the church didn't bother to help Mormons through it. It was not until afterward that Mormons were still suffering that the church finally decided, okay, fine, we'll build a bishop's storehouse, Welfare Square. They don't care about you. Heber J. Grant's Articles of Incorporation, 1923, Mormons are slave chattel to fund the church for their terrorist operations for Armageddon. And here we go. Just as I've warned you for a decade now. Just as I've escalated the warning this year. And more people are running away from my videos than ever before. Because they don't want to hear it. Well, now you're going to have the consequences of not listening to me. All I wanted was Zion. And I guess we're not going to have it. We're going to have a major catastrophe on our hands.